On March 26, 2013, EuroFinUse, the organization dedicated to defend the rights of European financial services users, organized a high-level international conference on the audit reform to assess the impact on investors. The conference took place at the European Parliament and was hosted by British member of European Parliament Sajjad Karim and brought together more than 130 participants. Panelists were discussing proposals linked to audit tenure, non-audit services, quality, transparency, pricing, as well as those targeting the role of audit committees and shareholder engagement. Prior to the European Parliament's Legal Committee vote on the 25th of April 2013, the debate was certainly passionate, as proposed restrictions on auditing firms have caused tensions between the European Parliament and the Commission. The original proposals pushed for a 6-year cap on how long an audit firm could work with a corporate client without a mandatory tendering process. They also called for new rules to strengthen audit reports. The proposed measures followed the failure by auditors to issue any warnings about the major banking collapses of 2008 and later, leading to criticism that they had become too close to their clients. Auditing services play a crucial role in businesses by promoting transparency, accountability, and sound financial management.
I think in terms of portfolio, this particular issue has by far, certainly for me, been the one that's going to stand out in this parliamentary term. We need to look to deliver a system which ensures independence rather than one which enables the continuation of cosy relationships. We aim to encourage a much greater degree of transparency and openness rather than maintain the present opaqueness when important decisions taken as part of the audit process. I feel that the place of the investor in this audit reform is sometimes lost amidst the endless discussion about the number of years before rotation or the respective perils of a particular advisory service. But I believe their role and needs should be one of our key considerations. If we are to take a lead internationally, Europe must develop an approach which delivers for the ultimate clients of the audit, the shareholders and outside investors. While I am of the opinion that other structural issues relating to competition in the national markets may vary from member state to member state, I consider that the problem of unmet demands and possible misaligned incentives affects shareholders and investors across the EU.
Mesdames et messieurs, en rendant les marchés de l'audit plus ouverts, plus transparents, plus responsables, nous avons ensemble un double objectif. D'une part, que les auditeurs soient bien au service des institutions, des entreprises, des investisseurs, et puis aussi que l'avenir de cette profession soit stabilisé, assuré, que les auditeurs puissent mener leur mission dans les meilleures conditions possibles d'indépendance.
Clearly, the audit reform is a major issue for the long-term investors because of the failure of some auditors to provide adequate warnings prior to the collapse of many banks and insurance companies during and after the financial crisis.
We need an audit reform in order to bring back trust onto the markets, get investors to invest in the real economy, and we need to allow the auditors to perform their mission in the best possible way in full independence.
There is a serious case for considering how we can improve the role of auditors in order to improve governance, transparency, accountability of corporations vis-à-vis investors in general and the public and other stakeholders.
Lo de los pequeños accionistas se dice mucho y después no se practica en favor de ellos. Y la verdad es que los pequeños accionistas necesitan de unas auditorías fiables y necesitan también de que no haya tanto pirata por el medio.
The information we get from audit reports is very limited. One of the proposed changes that's coming out of the Commission and of the Parliament is that there will be more disclosure of the assumptions and other aspects that are taken into account in the audit process by the Audit Committee, and we're very much in support of greater transparency of what's going on within the audit process and greater reporting to shareholders of those decisions that have been taken.
The current system of auditor independence is not based enough on transparency of accountability to shareholders. The quality of audit is, however, of utmost importance because financial reports provide vital information to investors to be able to monitor companies' performance and executives' use of capital. The audit of annual statements offers an essential assurance that information in company accounts is true and fair.
Now, if we take a look at the audit report, or at the annual report that we receive as investors, we expect a clear statement on the status of the company. We also would like to see an attestation of reliable bookkeeping, and we would like to have the assurance of a true and fair value of the company. These are the expectations that we as investors have.
Investors, shareholders should certainly have more of a say than they have today in the choice of auditors, and they should have more information as to what brought the choice of such or such auditor. And of course, they should have a more frequent opportunity to choose a different auditor or to switch auditor, because today we still see in too many firms that auditors provide the same audit mission for dozens of years. In many instances, the mandate is far too long.
Je comprends la tentation de vouloir tout faire pour préserver le lien qui existe entre un auditeur et son client. C'est légitime. Mais nous avons eu, mesdames et messieurs, dans les années récentes, quelques occasions, je dirais même trop d'occasions, de constater qu'un lien trop étroit ou trop automatique peut conduire à des problèmes liés à la stabilité financière.
Well, we're definitely in agreement that the mandatory rotation should take place after between 14 and 15 years. As far as the tendering goes, we support the UK's present position, which is 10 years, but equally 7 years would be acceptable. Well, we're very clear in our view that the audit process needs to have greater clarity around it, and the proposals or the discussion that seems to be gaining some credence, which is that the audit committee should put 2 names to the shareholders for vote. The audit committee has to back that up, though, with their preference, and back that up with the reasoning behind that.
So everything should be moved to the shareholders and their representatives, who are the audit committee members, so not the management. In this way, we should avoid, let's say, friendship between auditors and managers.
I'm very optimistic that a good package will come through that will comprise measures of mandatory firm rotation and some form of joint or shared audit involving more than one audit organizations to create a more vibrant market. And I think that's possible.
The conference offered a platform for investors to have their say on the audit reform. As in past debates, there has been a worrying lack of investor consultation, resulting in a decreasing confidence in the audit market.
He is the first ever internal market commissioner to address the European representatives of investors and financial services users as such, more than ever before, in particular by taking concrete actions to address or to better balance the representation of the user side interests vis-à-vis the industry interest in the design of European financial policies.
Je voudrais donc clairement dire ce point. Ma volonté est intacte. La réforme de la politique de l'audit reste une des priorités de mon action, avec l'objectif de contribuer à un marché de l'audit plus stable et plus dynamique.
I would like to congratulate EuroFinUse and welcome this initiative to organize a discussion today. I think it is extremely useful to give investors their say and to be able to listen to the voice of investors, because in this debate we have heard a lot from the profession, we have heard a lot from the companies, but I think that we need maybe to listen a bit more to the voice of the investors.
At the beginning of the Green Paper initiative, people said, not a problem. We don't need an initiative. Why a Green Paper? And at the end of the day, more than 700 contributions. So as I was saying, for a non-issue, 700 contributions is a huge contradiction
Para mí ha sido la reunión más importante de las que he asistido con profesionales, porque he asistido a muchas en los años que llevo trabajando este asunto, ¿no? Y hoy ha sido la mejor.
We have had a lot of debate among representatives of the audit profession. We didn't hear that much from investors in the past, and I think this was important in that respect.
Please don't underestimate the value that discussion forums of this sort has when it comes to guiding us as parliamentarians in ensuring we don't just do what may seem to be a snapshot right thing to do at that time, but we take a much longer term view and do what is actually right for our citizens in Europe.
I think conferences like today, organised by EuroFinUse, are incredibly important in terms of getting people to actually share their views. And clearly today, there was no single polarity of view. There were a wide range of views. And of course, Michel Barnier's responsibility is to try and pull those views together into one solution. He's got quite a challenge ahead of him.
Despite the progressive auditing reforms proposed by the Commission, the Parliament's Legal Committee endorsed compulsory rotation of auditors only every 25 years, supported by interim independence threat assessments performed by audit committees. A proposal to cap non-auditing services performed by companies' statutory auditors was also rejected. The Commission said it regrets the committee's preference for 25 years, but assured the amendment was a basis for further discussion.